Hey friends, Rob Phoenix, Powwow guy here. Hope you're all doing well. Happy Father's Day. Today was a really good day. Josani did his best. He was a good kid today. He was a really good son. He got gifts for Bill and I both. Totally appropriate. He did a great job. And as a special bonus, he made dinner for us. So he made steak on the grill. We had this oven called a Brava. I don't, I don't know what to say about it, but it's this cool oven that does all this kind of like high tech stuff. So he made sea bass in the Brava oven. In the regular oven, he did roasted potatoes with garlic and such seasonings. And then he also made some fresh peas just on the stovetop. So we had this amazing dinner. And like, he enjoys cooking and he does really well. So he's excited because it was such a success that he wants to cook dinner tomorrow night. So anyway, it was a really good day. It was a really good Father's Day. Like, Bill and I did go out. We did some running around today to look for some stuff for the garden. We transplanted Rose of Sharon into a different part of the garden. And normally, when you transplant a Rose of Sharon, it kind of wilts away, and you think, "Oh, it's gonna die." And then just when it gets to like the last stage of wilting, it springs back and it comes back because we've transplanted them before. But this time it did not. It died. So we're sad about that. Bill still thinks there's hope. I mean, it's gone, but it's flatlined. But Bill thinks there's hope and he's going to put it somewhere else. And in the meantime, we went and bought a wisteria and a trellis to put in that spot. Um, because we're always looking for things with height to kind of block out the neighboring property. So anyway, we got wisteria, and wisteria, it's like a viney kind of thing that sort of snakes up. And it gets gorgeous flowers on it with beautiful scent. But we know that we'll have to cut it back a lot because I know it can take over, but it would be perfect for that spot. So anyway, nobody cares. I'm so sorry to put you through that, but the garden is a big deal this year. Unfortunately, the weather has been really kind of lousy. Ever since early May, it's just been a lot of rain, a lot of clouds, very little sunshine, very little heat. We had a couple. There are a lot less nice days than there were not nice days. Today was very gloomy. Today was like there wasn't really any rain. There was a few spritzes here and there, but yeah, just kind of a dreary day. And the weather forecast for the next like 8 days just looks like doom and gloom. Really looking forward to sunshine. So yeah, that's it. That's Father's Day. So to all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. I gotta say, I love being a dad. It's like my favorite job in the whole world. Josani is my favorite person in the whole world. He's a great kid, and I gotta say, like when we adopted him, he had just turned 5, and that first year was tricky. It was hard. I had a lot of anxiety. I didn't know what I was doing. But then it leveled out and we realized Josani was like a very easy kid to raise because he had this maturity about him already. Yeah, we had the usual like his behaviors are off and he had to get tested for this and that. But ultimately, I mean, he's 14 and a half and I couldn't be more proud. He's a great kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He gets good grades. He's smart. He's focused on himself, on personal development. He's not distracted by what other kids his age are doing. Great kid. I'm very proud of him. So he's a good son. Um, anyway, I'm like kind of going off a little on my son, but forgive me. Um, so anyway, in powwow news. So um, somebody asked me recently where because and now I've met many people over the years that have said this, but recently somebody at work who born and raised in Pennsylvania, out of one of the western counties, Forest County, I think it was. Um, they said they had never heard of powwow, and they had only kind of like vaguely heard of the Pennsylvania Dutch. And I was not surprised by this, but I wanted to get the exact like sometimes there's like it's believed there were like 14 counties that have a strong Pennsylvania Dutch presence. Um, but there are actually like some more than that. And you have to remember that when the German immigrants started coming, the ways of immigration, as they call them, in the 1600s, Pennsylvania only had like three counties. It was Philadelphia, Berks, Lebanon County, maybe. I'm not sure. It might have been Lebanon County. No, Chester County. That's what it was. Philadelphia, Chester, and Berks. And that's like southeastern Pennsylvania. So if this is a map of Pennsylvania, it was like down here, this bottom right corner of Pennsylvania, is Berks, Philadelphia, Chester. Well, eventually they kind of like split apart and formed Lancaster here, Delaware, you know what I mean, and all these other counties. I'm in South Central Pennsylvania. It's more like I don't know if Pennsylvania was like a ruler with 12 inches. Um, I'm like around the 6 inch mark. I don't know how to say that, but anyway, I'm like southeastern central Pennsylvania and in Cumberland County. So I have here a list of the primary counties where the Pennsylvania Germans settled. Pennsylvania Dutch, I'm using them interchangeably. Uh, just go with that for now. Uh, so we have um, Lancaster, York, Adams County, Franklin County, Dauphin County. That's where the Harrisburg state capital is. That's where my office is. And I live right at the edge. Like I'm in Cumberland County, but I can walk 2 miles into Harrisburg, cross the river, cross the bridge to my office. And then I'm in Dauphin County. So Lancaster, York, Adams, Franklin, Dauphin, Cumberland, that's where I live. Lebanon, of course, Berks, Northampton, Montgomery, Lehigh, Schuylkill, and then Snyder, Union, Juniata, Mifflin, Huntington, Northumberland, and Center. Sounds like a lot of counties, but there's 83 counties in Pennsylvania. So these like 18 or 19 are where they primarily you saw the Pennsylvania Germans settled. So yeah, I was raised basically in both Northumberland and Schuylkill counties, uh, part of Berks County. And now I live in Cumberland County and work in Dauphin County. Uh, but yeah, the counties are a big deal here in Pennsylvania, especially within the Pennsylvania Dutch culture. Uh, so anyway, that was interesting. I don't know. She mentioned it at work that she was from Forest County and not heard of them. And uh, largely I'm not surprised. But anyway, so that's that. But I wanted to recommend a book to you guys. 3 years ago, yeah, 2022, a book about Pennsylvania German folklore came out, and it's all basically about the stories of the like the fairies and the little people, nature spirits and such here in Pennsylvania Dutch culture. Um, And I had been searching for years, like, do we have those? Because I had never heard any of these stories when I was a kid. And I was really interested to know, like, I know there are spirits in the forest, there are spirits in the gardens, there are spirits of plants and such. So how do the Pennsylvania Dutch how do we view those? What are they? And so I had reached out to many people, like, do you know any information about these sorts of things? And nobody did have any. Um, but anyway, this book came out in 2022 called The Folk Tales of the Pennsylvania Dutch by William Woys Weaver. And these are a collection of stories and such about all the like the nature spirits and fairies and such in Pennsylvania Dutch culture. I had literally never heard of any of these before, but there's a foreword and all the pictures are actually drawn by the same person who did the foreword, which is Patrick Dunmoyer. I consider him to be pretty authoritative on the subject, anything doing with Pennsylvania Dutch culture. So therefore, I trust this book. I know the author did like writes about Pennsylvania Dutch food and such. So him writing this book, I trust it. And then Patrick Dunmoyer giving it his stamp of approval. So anyway, there are some very cool and interesting nature spirits that are part of the Pennsylvania Dutch culture, which I think you'll be fascinated by. I definitely recommend if you're interested in Pennsylvania Dutch culture, powwowing, braucherei, whatever you want to call it, and also the nature spirits that we have here. Check out Folk Tales of the Pennsylvania Dutch by William Woys Weaver. I'm sorry if that's blurry. I don't know how to make it non-blurry. Um, I'm not sure that you can get this on Amazon. I got this at a museum a couple of years ago that we had visited, like a Pennsylvania Dutch museum. So anyway, definitely recommend it if you're interested in our nature spirits and such. And since then, I've really been, especially in the past few months, yeah, I'll say the past few months, I've really been like studying these stories. And again, I've never heard of any of these things before. I did not hear any of this growing up, and there's nothing else about it anywhere online. So, um, I'm just going to go ahead and trust that what he's saying is how the stories were passed down, because he's a collector of this kind of information. So, anyway, I definitely recommend you check it out. That's it for now. The only thing I'm really doing here is we're working on the garden a lot, but I'm also planning our Phoenix Line camping trip in August. So, if you are Phoenix Line, you wish to attend, uh, let me know. Send me an email. If you're Phoenix Line, you have my email and my cell phone number, so you can text me. But sounds like the dogs are going crazy. So that's it. Happy Father's Day again. And God bless you guys. Love you all very much. And we'll talk again very soon.